Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby and welcome back to another quick tank review. This time we're going to be looking at the tier 9 German medium tank, well, the faster and more lightly armoured one, the Leopard Prototyp. If you like your tanks fast with a very punchy gun, then the Leopard Prototyp might be the tank for you. And if not, stay tuned, check out some of the gameplay and then I'll tell you exactly how you can take them out effectively. So here is the Leopard Prototype's position in the tech tree. Moving on from the Panzer, which I had very mixed opinions about, and it is the tank before what many people aim for, the Leopard 1. Now, as the name would suggest that it is the Leopard Prototype, the kind of gameplay that you're going to develop in this tier 9 medium tank is going to really decide whether you're going to be able to play the tier 10 one to a high level. Now, this second German medium branch was added after the first. The original tier 9 medium for the Germans was the E50. Now, the E50 is a very heavy, heavily armoured cruise missile of a tank that has poor track traverse. While the Leopard Prototype gets an extra 12 degrees of track traverse, it weighs 20 tons less and has an increased top speed limit. So this tank has got 1,650 hit points, fairly normal. It weighs 40 tons. It has a fantastic top engine, which has got 830 brake horsepower. Unfortunately, this engine is unique to the tank, so you're going to have to spend a while researching it. As we can see here, the engine cost is 33,600 research points. But luckily, it only has a 10% chance of engine fire. And this is one of those German tanks that really doesn't actually get set on fire that much. Now, that amazing horsepower to ton ratio means this tank can keep up at its amazing top speed limit of 65 kilometers an hour. As I highlighted a minute ago against the E50, the 42 degrees of track traverse mean that this thing can navigate round corners even at its top speed limit. Now, all this mobility does come at a cost, and that's because this tank only has 70 millimeters of frontal armor, 35 at the side and 25 at the rear. And if you thought that the turret might be better, well, it sadly isn't. 52 at the front, 60 at the side, and 60 at the rear. This really is a paper-thin tank, but I'm going to take you into WOT viewer anyway, just to highlight any major weaknesses or slight strengths of the armor. So here's our Leopard Prototype. It really is a slick-looking machine. Here we can see its armor values with a key here. Alright, so let's look at the hull armor first. We can see that there is only one real place that you can bounce on the Leopard, and that is off the upper plate. Now, it's only 70 millimeters thick, so you really do try and need to get an angle like this and just hope that they miss, maybe trying to hit your lower plate or your side armor and just ricochet off the top. It is very well angled, as you can see, so that really is your only chance to be able to bounce your opposition. Your lower plate is 50 millimeters and you've got cheeks here, so to say, of 50 on the hull. Then after that, the armor just gets worse and worse. 35 all around here, 30 around here, and 25 at the back. You could sneeze on that armor and it would still go through. Now, more importantly, looking at the turret armor, and because of the Leopard Prototype having fairly good gun depression, you can actually kind of make use of this turret armor. Although, don't think that I'm saying that you can rely on it, because you really can't. So the sides of the turret here are 60. There's a shield around where the gun is mounted of 52 millimeters. It's got 49 on top, 40 millimeters around here, and then 20 on top of the tank, which makes it a very, very, very juicy target for artillery. Just to highlight the back of the tank here being a gigantic 15 millimeters. If the artillery lands on here, you basically get one hit. So now looking at the spaced armor on the turret, we can see that there's a slab of 65 millimeters here with a rim of 38 above it. Now, if we hide the spaced armor, we can see that there is no armor behind that gun shield, so to say. That's right, 0 millimeters. So if you're shooting at a Leopard, all you need to do is to just hit it more or less anywhere in the turret if you've got a good caliber gun, and especially just shoot it here, and you'll be very unlucky to not penetrate it. The easiest penetrations on the turret are just to the left of the gun and just to the right of the gun, where really the Leopard Prototype just has no chance to bounce. So basically what you just found out is that this amazing mobility of the Leopard Prototype does come at a cost, and that's the fact that it basically has no armor. You have to use your speed to avoid fire, but if you have to take shots, then I recommend angling the tank and just trying to hope that they shoot your tracks and the tracks absorb some of the damage. And really just do not stay in the open for very long. If you stay in one place for too long, then you risk the artillery just one-hitting you. Now, the Leopard gets that 9cm gun that you might have been using on the Panzer. However, unlike when mounted on the Panzer, the 9cm is actually fairly effective. It gets a rate of fire of 10, and its aim time has improved dramatically from 2.9 to 2.3. Also, we see accuracy improvements from 0.34 to 0.32. Now, you can make this gun work, but really the best gun for the tank is the 105mm. Now this is not cheap to research, 62,000 experience. So for the majority of you players out there who do not have 62,000 free experience to drop, you're going to spend quite a while getting this gun. But the stock gun on the Leopard prototype, while it's not going to be amazing considering its tier placement and the fact it will meet a lot of tier 10 heavies, it's not the end of the world because of the improvements that this gun gets compared to having it mounted on the Indenpanzer. But now let's just look at this fantastic 105mm. It fires 5 rounds a minute, which, to be fair, is underwhelming, but it does have a great alpha damage, the standard 390. Now the penetration on this gun is incredible, 268. That is ridiculously high for a tier 9 medium, and its accuracy at 100 meters is a very, very, very good 0.32. And the aim time on this gun is 2.3 seconds, meaning that it can quickly scope out the target and use its extra high penetration to almost guarantee penetration against any tank in the game. The Leopard prototype really is a mobile gun. You need to watch out about the DPM that this tank has, as I'm going to show you in tank compare against the T-54. So here we have the Leopard on the left and the T-54 on the right, both using their top guns. So the Leopard has the alpha advantage and a massive penetration advantage, and the shell speed is a whopping 1,478 kilometers an hour compared to the lowly 900 kilometers an hour on the T-54 shell. However, the T-54 has an extra 25% DPM. And let's not forget about the fact that the T-54 does have the armor. So what I'm basically telling you guys is don't try and get into fights with tanks such as the T-54 or the Patton up close and personal. Or even the new Japanese Tier 9, the Type 61 I believe it is. Because you are going to get absolutely outshot and you will get wrecked. You need to use your mobility to engage them from range, or just fire opportunistically at them when you think that they're not going to be engaging you. Now I'm just going to do a quick comparison of the Leopard versus the E50. Top speed goes to the Leopard, speed limit backwards goes to the Leopard, armor obviously goes to the E50 massively, the horsepower to ton ratio overwhelmingly goes to the Leopard, traverse speed to the Leopard, the fire chance obviously to the Leopard, the turret traverse to the Leopard, the penetration on the gun overwhelmingly to the Leopard, but the DPM again goes 25% to the E50. Accuracy to the E50, aim time to the E50, and gun depression to the E50. And that's something that's very interesting, that the E50 actually has better gun depression than the Leopard prototype. So there you have it, that's everything that you really need to know about the Leopard, but I will just mention one more thing. The fact that this tank has no armor, and the fact that its ammo rack seems to just be gigantic. If you're engaging one, you can almost ammo rack the tank regularly by just shooting it here on both sides. It means that this is the only tank in the game that I take 2 repair packs on. So firstly, I also strongly recommend that you consider taking the safe stowage perk on your loader when you're driving the Leopard prototype. You really need it. And I forego the fire extinguisher to take a small repair kit and a large repair kit. More often than not, my ammo rack gets damaged once or twice in a game. You will need both of those repair kits to keep you fighting. Considering the terrible DPM of the Leopard prototype, if you get ammo racked, then you're just almost so useless. Anyway, it's my tip to you, and it's one of the only ways that I've found to make this tank work. Anyway, let's take a look to see how it performs in some gameplay. So here we go, we're playing on Siegfried Line. I'm going to make my way aggressively along the west to try and spot for my team. You see at the moment that I'm still using a fire extinguisher on this tank. This is when I was playing the Leopard for the first few times, really. And yeah, I found out much later on that it was definitely better to use the second repair kit. So I'm just trying to use my view range here, my mobility, to be able to get shots off. See an E75 trying to go aggressively into the field. Just see quite how long the reload is here. We're going back out for our next shot. Put a lovely second hit into him. And he's falling back, which means that I know I can shoot him again. He won't be able to accurately shoot me. We track him there and we ask for fire support. Hopefully our artillery will give us some. Thankfully these 75 missed us there. We hit him again. So we're looking out. We're going to poke out round the trees to try and find him again. Can't seem to see him though. There he is. And good night. that is a very good example of what the Leopard prototype can do, even to arguably the strongest tanks tier for tier in the game, such as the E75, if they can catch them in a good position. You've got enough penetration to contest with even the heaviest armor. And your alpha damage can just take tracks off every shot. So firing opportunistically in here into the side, we don't want to get shot by that T-54E1. That is a tank that you do not want to have against you in the Leopard prototype, and you can see I'm hightailing it out there as quickly as I can. T-54E1 is an absolute nightmare for the Leopard prototype. It can actually almost clip it if it rolls really high. The T-54E1's weakness is that its penetration is not good. But when you don't have any armor in the Leopard prototype, that means that you have to start thinking that tanks that sometimes aren't the biggest threats really are to you. Like this T-25-2 as an example. We drove a little bit bad there into the rock, but fortunately we managed to pull back in time before the T-54E1 was able to gun us. We can tell he's coming round. And there's another T-54 coming here. Not of the E1 variety though this time. So we're looking for a shot, but we don't want to get slammed by this autoloader. He puts one into us, but we give one to him. And we can see he rolled fairly high there. He rolled for 442. And considering how fast he can unload compared to my rate of fire, you've really got to be careful. And also, you heard me a minute ago talk about the T-25-2 and how it is a problem for the Leopard prototype. I have to shoot a T-25-2 3 times. Okay, and my DPM is really bad. However, the T-25-2 can penetrate me almost every time. I mean, I'll penetrate him every time. But do I really want a tier 7 to penetrate me so often? If I was playing a T-54 as an example, a T-25-2 could probably not pen me at all. If I tank well, if I use my armor well against him. And that's a massive problem in the Leopard prototype. Luckily we can see his cheeks here. We put another good shot into him and we're starting to push him back. I feel like he's unloaded and we can catch him while he's still reloading now. So I'm looking for a shot. There he is. He was in the bushes. He puts one into us. 2 into us, and there goes my ammo rack. I repair my ammo rack instantly, and I see this T-54 is trying to come for me. Fortunately, he misses. I try and track him, but we weren't successful. The T-54E1 behind him has died. T-54 slams us on the move backwards. And that's the kind of position you want to be in the Leopard prototype. Having a nice confirmed kill on the T-54. So we were lucky there that the T-54 didn't just really decide to YOLO us, although we did get a bit unlucky that the T-54E1 nailed us. I thought he was reloading. It was a misjudgment by me, and we lost a lot of health for it. And now you can see towards the end of the game, the Leopard prototype really has opportunity. Because it's so mobile that it can get wherever it wants really quickly. Look at this, just bombing it around here. And oh my word, there's a T-44 still behind me. I did not expect that, so I'm getting out of there as quickly as I can. But ooh, this is a nice opportunity right here. Put one into the IS-8 first. Looks like he's not quite focusing on me quick enough. Yep, so that'll be my... Oh, no, not my kill. The artillery bags him. So, I decided to go over here and snipe at that T-44, or I'm just thinking, I'm a bit confused. See, the thing is I've got so much mobility that I don't know which targets I really want to target first. But I've decided that it's going to be this T-44. He's not aiming at me. But we can put huge alpha damage shells into him. When I say huge alpha damage, I mean having a 105 on a tier 9 tank seems to be fairly standard now. I mean, you think you've got the Pattern, you've got the Type 61, you've got the Centurion 7-1. There's very few tier 9 medium tanks that don't have a 105. That doesn't mean that you don't enjoy slamming shells in. So we heard the object fired, so we've got a free kill. And now there's a full health E75, and you don't want to mess around with a full health E75. I'm just watching him, seeing which way he's going. And then I'm going to try and just basically flank him. So what we're seeing here is that the Leopard prototype needs to be just... It's like a careful approach. At the start you saw me playing a long-range sniper against a heavy tank. Now we can use our mobility and our speed to outbrawl our enemies, so to say. So we heard the E75 fire again. We're just going to keep him tracked here, get some tracking damage. Right through the rear track there, so any damage that's done to the tank, we will get. Now we could have held our shot there for the top gun, but really I just wanted to get some more damage in. So this was a fairly good example of Leopard prototype gameplay. You saw me having that long-range sniper engagement at the start. Then we saw opportunistic fire in the town. And then we got to see the Leopard prototype use its speed to be able to outflank its enemies towards the end. We got ammo racked once, and you also hopefully started to understand the dangers that having such low armor can give you. The fact that the T-54E1 almost guarantees to penetrate us all the time. Even tier 7 tanks do pose a threat to you because of your low armor. And also you've really got to consider the fact that you basically have 25% less DPM than most other tanks of your tier. And so you really want to be able to dictate the pace of the combat like we did there, and avoid an all-out brawling fight. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the post-game stats. So this was actually my mastery badge in the Leopard prototype. This is a triple, I hasten to add, and we got a nice meaty amount of credits. In fact, we made a profit of 46,000. So we fired 18, hit 18, and penetrated 18. Such is the nature of a very accurate, quick-to-aim gun with a very meaty amount of penetration behind it. We did 5,583 damage. But the only hero medal we got was the sniper because we didn't really try and kill steal the top gun at the end of the game. The potential damage that we received was 1,420. We took 4 hits, of which 4 penetrated, and that's just going to be the realistic thing that happens to you in the Leopard prototype. You can't get shot, and if you do and it bounces, you're damn lucky. And if it happens to you again, then goddamn, you're super lucky. Anyway, I was still really happy to get 1,422 experience for the non-premium, non-double, and that was definitely helped by the fact that we did 1,300 spotting damage. So here we go, we're playing on Mountain Pass. Oh wow, this is a really nice matchup for this tank. I'm playing with Z and with Cac Funny, one of Z's friends. Cac has literally just started the game, so he's playing in the E75. That's going to be interesting. What you're going to see here is a good example of what aggressive play in a nice matchup can do for you in a Leopard prototype. So we're going to use our speed, and I really wanted to show you this replay to emphasize the speed of the tank. We're going to be rocketing forwards and taking a dominant position at the beginning. So there's a T-54 above us. We nail him on the move, tracking him, getting a lot of fire support from our team, and I really want to get up there. I don't care if this guy shoots me once, but for some reason he doesn't seem to care. We'll track him dead and keep him there again. He fires a heat round at us, or what sounded like a heat round. Let's just take a quick look. Yes, it was a heat round straight through the side of our tank. And another one. Completely unnecessary heat rounds there from the T-54. We managed to take him out. Now we're spotting for the Jagdpanther. Now I'm going to poke up here and hopefully get some more spotting. Okay, great. Another 4 targets. Listen up. And look at this. We've got a huge firing line behind us, and we're providing all of them with with targets. And that's sometimes what you need to do in the Leopard prototype. You can be effectively a really good scout tank. Because of your speed, your great view range, you can get to front positions and hopefully spot for your team. So we can see that the 6 degrees of gun depression is not quite enough to be able to shoot at the Jagdpanther. I just saw him fire, but it doesn't seem like I was going to do anything with it. I don't really want to get shot by the Jagd Target 88. What I'm doing now is adjusting the angle of my slope, so I do have enough gun depression to shoot at the Jagdpanther. However, he's got most of his tank covered, so there's very little that I can do there. Alright, so now the game has changed again. Now, most of my team have advanced. And I don't really have that much fire support anymore. So I'm using my map to figure out that there's an IS-8 about to appear here. We put a shot into him, but unfortunately it didn't penetrate. Now we're going to see what we can do to this Jagdtag 88. Whoa, a lovely high roll into the side of his tank there. 450 damage done. That's a huge roll for this gun. And I'm just hoping that artillery kills him or somebody kills him. And thank you, Mr. Ferdinand. Okay, so now we can see a VK4502B going over the bridge. Oh, it's a stock VK4502B. And we track him. Does he have the gun depression to get us? Yes, he does. Okay, so I'm going to change the angle of my tank so I can shoot the front of his and he can't shoot me. Oh, this is brutal. Oh, no! It was a bit of... The shot was aimed a little too high. Really bad shot by me. Really bad shot. Oh, are we going to get a second chance? We are, but unfortunately we don't penetrate the shot. Well, we do penetrate, sorry, we don't hit the track. So is he going to still want to shoot me more? Oh, we just reload in time to put a shot into him. So this game has actually been fairly even considering the quality of our players. We're only ahead by one tank. And Z and Kak are now currently moving along to try and deal with the enemy that are pushing over the middle. So we're able to track the Jagdpanther. We'll check to see if the Black Prince is aiming at me. He's not. So we'll just take the kill on the Jagdpanther. We'll check to see again what the Black Prince is doing. He's fired. We're going to make a move in for him. So this is where the rate of fire on the Leopard prototype with the 105mm is not good. Look how long it's taking us to kill this tier 7 heavy tank. A lot longer than if we'd been in the T-54 as an example. So I fire clutch, and that was actually a mistake. Okay, so I wanted to basically fire clutch to kill the T-28 before he killed me. Well, not killed me, but damaged me. So I'll just let him have the IS-6. One thing that was interesting is that the T-28 prototype has 120mm. For all intensive purposes, about the same kind of caliber gun as the 105. It's only 10 damage more. However, that 120mm will reload, I think, a lot quicker than my 105 will, even though I'm a tier higher than him. And my alpha damage is less. So now we're using the Leopard's speed to race around the battlefield at the end of the game to try and pick up those kills. We found the artillery, he misses us. And that's lucky that he misses us because it was quite likely that he would have one-hit us if he'd managed to get us there. But I'm not complaining. Oh, Black Prince. So this is a good example. Let's see if I can avoid the second shot. Luckily he misses me. So I reverse out again to put another shot into him. He puts another one into me though. Now the Black Prince is playing it wrong here. What he needed to do is to be aggressive against me. He allowed me to dictate the pace of the combat. And because of that we were able to do 1,000 damage to him. But you guys hopefully got a feel there for the fact that tier 7 tanks do still pose a threat to you, and unfortunately Z went down there against the Ferdinand just at the end before we were able to pick up the kill. But I picked this replay because I thought it was really representative of the mobility that the Leopard prototype can use to rush into an early position. The fact that it's accurate and highly penetrating 105 can target enemies' weak points even at long ranges. It also highlights the DPM problems of the Leopard prototype, and the fact that its armor means that it can be still hurt a lot by tier 7 tanks, which other tier 9 medium tanks can just literally brush aside. Still, let's take a look at the post-game stats. So this was a pretty massive game for the Leopard prototype. We managed to pick up 116,000 credits, so we made 77,000 credits for that victory. It's really refreshing to just never really have to fire your premium ammunition with this gun, and to have such high penetration that you really don't get any bounces. And that shows from the fact that of the 18 that we hit, we did penetrate 17, giving us 5,500 damage. Again, we took 6 hits, and of those, 6 penetrated, giving us a potential damage received of less than 1,500, and we were nearly dead by the end of the game. So we detected 7 enemies. I think I could have spotted a little bit more aggressively, but I just didn't want to take the damage. And surprisingly, I only got 2,700 spotting damage. I was expecting a little bit more there, but still this was a fantastic result to get 5,128 experience for our double, which is 1,554 experience, non-premium, non-double. Oh, there must have been an event on actually. Oh yeah, there was some kind of an experience bonus. So this is including a bonus, but obviously this number doesn't, and that's still a fairly healthy amount to get in a tier 9 medium tank. So even though this battle wasn't the longest, we still drove over 2 kilometers. And really, this is just a good example of the Leopard Prototyp as an all-round performer in the battle. Now, I liked the Leopard Prototyp. If I didn't have the Centurion 7-1, I would probably keep it. I feel like the Leopard Prototyp has to be a bit worried about the Type 61, just like the Centurion 7-1 needs to be afraid of the Type 61. The Type 61 gets a similar kind of 105, however, it has 20% more DPM than the Leopard Prototyp. Fair enough, it doesn't have the amazing speed and mobility of the Leopard Prototyp. And I haven't had a real chance to play the Type 61 enough on the main server. I've only played it on the test server, but from what I found, it was really, really nice. The thing for me is that the Leopard Prototyp is a very strong tier 9 tank, and I fully recommend it. However, I will be selling it because for me it offers the same kind of gameplay that I get in my Centurion 7-1, and the same kind of gameplay that I would get in my Leopard tier 10 tank, which I do have now. And I think that many people do that with the Leopard Prototyp, that as soon as they get the regular Leopard, then they probably sell the tier 9 variant, just because the gameplay is so similar, and not many people want to have 2 tanks which are more or less the same. Unless you really like the Leopard Prototyp, and then you're probably going to keep it in your garage anyway. Anyway guys, I hope that was all you need to know about the Leopard Prototyp. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider rating it down below. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know what you think about the Leopard Prototyp. Do you think the fact that it's got a really nice gun, although it does lack DPM, and really good mobility makes up for the fact that it has basically no armor? Or do you think the fact that it has no armor and really low DPM is just crippling to the tank? Importantly as well, how do you think it now balances up against the E50 in light of the recent E50 buffs? Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.